Hello, welcome back. This is going to be our part 2 of our practice problems for chapters 2 and 3. So moving right along, we're going to go right into problem number 14 here. And problem 14, we want to calculate mean, median, mode, and mid-range. So first thing we want to do when we have a data set or a table here and look at it, first thing we should do is we should count how many data points we have or how many participants are here right now. So if you look at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we're going to know that there's 7 data points here. So on the side, automatically just write n equals 7. It's going to help us out later on when we need to, and then we don't have to keep going back and looking how many data points we have. Sometimes in the paragraph above it might tell us how many people, but if it doesn't, it's a great idea to write on the side so that way we don't have to keep looking at it. When we're looking for mean, median, mode, and mid-range, especially mode, mid-range, and median, we're going to want to put the data set in order so that way we can see things a little easier. So we're going to take this data set and rewrite it out in order. So we're going to go 5, 7, 9, 9. So we already see there's 2 9s, and then 12, 12, 2 12s. So we already know that we're going to have 2 modes. Mode is the most common value that occurs. So we're already looking and we already know we're going to have 2 modes here. So we're going to go mode is equal to 9, comma 12. Remember, our median value is going to be the middle value in this data set. And our middle value here is going to be 9. So our median is going to equal 9. And then our mid-range here is also going to equal 9. And so the mean is the only thing we have left to calculate. So in order to calculate mean, we need to sum up all the data points and divide by the total number. If we were to add up all the data points here, we're going to get a value of 67. Divide by n, the total number of data points here, which is 7. We wrote down inside. And we're going to equal a value of 9.5714. And that is going to be your mean. So you can write mean is equal to 9.57. Since our data set is all whole numbers and there's no decimals, we can write it. We just want to go one more decimal deep. So we could say our value is 9.6. And remember, since this is a sample, we would say this is x bar equals 9.6, mean equals 9.6. You can go more out, it'd just be more specific, but we want to adhere to the rules, which we're going to report our values one more value past than what the raw data set gives us. So number 15 here, we have 6 participants. So once again, I still always like writing it on the side just so I can always find it easier. N equals 6, and here we have their height and weight, and we want to look at their BMI. A is going to ask us to find the mean and median of the BMI, and then part B is asking us to find the relative frequency of over 30. BMI, so we don't have BMI here, so we need to calculate BMI. BMI is found by taking your kilograms in weight over meters squared. So we have height in feet and inches, and we have weight in pounds. So we're going to need to convert from pounds to kilograms, and from feet to inches, inches to centimeters, centimeters to meters, and then square them. And you take your kilograms divided by your meter squared, and you get your BMI. I'm just going to write here on the side what the BMI is for these participants here, and if your values are different, just look back and make sure your math is adding up. Remember, if you do this all on the calculator and you're not going, remember I go most of the time 4 decimals out, kind of cut it off and then keep moving on. If you're using values in the calculator, squaring and using answers from that, your answers might be a little different, but they should be around these numbers. So the first one, 25.8, 21.3, 36.9, 29.2, 18.7, and 35.3. It should be somewhere around there. Now, if you add up all these values, and divide by the total number of 6, when you add them all up, you should get 167.2 divided by 6, which is going to give you an x bar of 27.866. So that is going to be your mean. Trying to write that. Mean is equal to 27.866. Moving on, we want to find the median. So the way we find the median, remember, we have to take all these values and put them in order. So once you put them in order and you go, you'll find that since it's an even number set, you have to take the two middle values, add them up and divide by 2. When you do that, you're going to get a median value is equal to 27.5. Once again, I'm just going through. There's pages in your book to help you find the median in different areas in the book. Use the flow chart that they gave you in order to help solve these problems if you're still having trouble with them. If the book is still not making sense, then please come, see me during office hours or before or after class to go over it. We can go over exactly how the book finds these quartile ranges for each of the values going forward. And if you don't have any problems, then you don't have to come see me. But once again, as I always state, that if you're having any problems, most people get most of the concepts. It's just these little fine-tuning things that are always going to be really, really good to fine-tune before an exam. I found the page real quick. It's page 106 if you're looking how to find the certain, like Q1, Q2, Q3, finding the median, how to find the exact value according to the book is found on page 106. So I'm just going to write down here, page 106 in the book. So then we're supposed that we have a BMI, or supposed a BMI of 30 is considered obese. What is the relative frequency of obese in this group? So we're looking at how many values are above 30, and we look and there's 2 values above 30 out of 6. So we're going to say that we're going to reduce that down to 1/3, or we can say that's 0.333, repeating of course, or we can say 33.33, repeating of course, percent, and there's your relative frequency. All right, moving on along to number 16 here. 16 here, we have patients, and we're trying to calculate their CD4 count. So we look at their CD4 count. Right here, we're looking at the baseline and then follow-up. So we're just adding up the total number in each. You'll notice that there's 10 patients in each group, so N is going to equal 10. When we add up their baseline counts and then divide by the total number of 10 in the baseline, it's 3,294 divided by 10. It's going to give us our X bar of 329.4. And in our follow-up group, it's going to be 3,453 divided by 10, which is going to give us our average of 345.3. Number 17 here, assume the following table of observations and data that represents a sample of fasting glucose separated by diabetes status. So here, part A wants to calculate the mean, median, 5-point summary IQR. B, is there any outliers? And then C, we want to create a box plot. So I'm going to try to do this, and it's going to go a little bit quick. And I'm just going to explain what I'm doing. So first thing when we want to do, a great thing to do, once again, write how many data points we have here. We're going to have 8 data points. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Moving along. Next best thing we could do is put these values in order. So we can definitely find the median, and then our 5-point summary and IQR become a little easier. So when we put this in order, 79, 81, 119, 121. And while I'm putting these in, I just want to reiterate that if you're a little confused still on how to find your quartiles or a certain value in the data set, go back to page 106 and they have a flow chart for you to follow. So here's our values in order. We can already see that our minimum value is going to be 79, and we can say our max value is going to be 149. Now we want to find our Q1, Q2, and Q3. Once again, follow the chart. If you're not getting the values I'm getting, I'm going to kind of move this along for everybody here, and then your Q3 is going to be 139. Now, ideally, these should all be in order and not kind of just in the shape I kind of made. I guess my order goes like this if we want to apply it. This is 100, by the way. So that is our 5-point summary. If we add up all the values in the data set, you're going to get 955 divided by a total number of 8, and that's going to give us our average. So our X bar equals 119 point, we can say 4, because remember we're given all whole numbers. We want to report one decimal past that value. 119.4. Our median value is 1/3, or I'm sorry. This part's off. I'm gonna erase that. Sorry, everyone. Because remember, so it goes from min, Q1, Q2, Q3, then max. Remember, Q2 is your median value here. So median is going to equal 124.5, which is what your Q2 should be. So make sure you understand this ordering should be in order. And our IQR is going to equal your Q3 minus your Q1, which is equal to 139 minus 100 equals 39. So there is your IQR. And now we have found the mean, median, 5-point summary, and IQR for this data set here. Are there any outliers? So in order to find our outliers, remember, we're finding kind of our lower fence and our upper fence. Our lower fence is Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR, and our upper fence is Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. Write this out. Your Q1 is 100 minus 1.5 times your IQR, which is 39. And then we'll put our value down here. Q3 is 139 plus 1.5 times 39. When you equal these out, you're going to get a value of, for your lower fence, 41.5 and 197.5. If you look, is there any values lower than 149? And we look at our lowest value. No, that is above it, so nothing is lower than this fence. And we look above it, is anything above 197.5, and our upper value is 149, so no. So are there any outliers in the set? There's no outliers. Last but not least, we want to construct a data plot here, or a box plot. And these don't have to be perfect, and of course there's software to help you out, but in just what you kind of want is some sort of even spacing as best you can, something like that. And then we're going to want to put our data values here on our x-axis to go through. And then while you're doing this, make sure you're going to get all your data points. So 150, 160 is going to do it. And then we just want to plot where our 5-point summary is. So our lowest value is 79, so it's going to be right below the 80. Our next value is going to be at 100. Our median values, right, is 124, so it's going to be about right here. And then our Q3 is 139, so right below 140. And then our max value is right below 150, so somewhere right about there. We want to box this off because that is our box. These are our whiskers going out, and it's going to look something like that. And if there was ever an outlier, we would put any kind of star or dot and mark it there, and then our whisker goes to the next lowest data point in the set. We wouldn't put where the fence is, we put where the next lowest data point is. All right, that's going to conclude this video, and then when we come back in the next one, we'll be doing more about standard deviation. See you all there.